Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Jay and this is the tier list you have all been waiting for. Today I will be ranking romance anime protagonists based on 1. How memorable their design is, and 2. How memorable they are in their show. I guess, I don't know. This isn't edited, so this is really off the cuff, so forgive me if it's a little bit rushed and or unpolished, but this is what you get when you make tier lists, I guess. So, beginning with Keita Amino from Gamers. His design is very memorable. You know, he's got the brown hair, he's got the school uniform. It's probably one of, if not the most memorable designs out there. And so, because of that, I'm going to go ahead and start him off on A tier. Now ranking him based on how he is in a series. I gotta say, he is probably one of my favorite protagonists. He's very funny. He is a little dumb and dense, but at sometimes he's very smart. Overall, I like the series in general, so he's gonna go ahead and stay in A tier. His design really carried him. If his design was worse, he would probably be down in B or C, but as you can tell, his design is clearly memorable. Moving on, we have, oh gosh, what is his name? Arita Kaizaki from the series Real Life. Now, Arta, you know, his design is definitely an A tier. You know, he's got the bluish hair, he's got the school uniform, a little bit of like a little cardigan on, maybe even a backpack, tie. It's a memorable design. And God, based on his story, I want to put him in A tier, but the fact that he's a 27-year-old man and he goes to high school and, like, there's implications that I don't really want to get into and it makes me uncomfortable, I'm going to go ahead and have to put him down in B tier. But his design definitely carried him up to A tier. Anyways, now we have Futuro Uasugi from the series The Quintessential Quintuplets. I don't want to say the Japanese name because I know I'm going to butcher it. So, his design is definitely an A tier design. I mean, what do you want? He's got the blue hair, he's got the little tufts, he's got the school uniform, he's got everything that you want in a memorable design. Very stands out amongst protagonists for sure. I'm going to go ahead and put him in B tier as well. I like his past, I think it's pretty funny, but he has 5 girls and he's very indecisive. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and put him in B tier. But his design is definitely an A tier design. So now moving on, we got Pikagaya Hachiman from My Youth Romantic Comedy Is Not As I Expected. Design is definitely an A tier. He's got the green hair this time instead of blue, school uniform. What else can you ask for in a character? I will say I have to rate his original design from season 1 more, higher than his season 2 or 3, so it might even be an S tier. I don't know, this is freaking me out. I'm gonna go ahead and have to put him in C tier though. His story is a little bit too oof for me. It's very, very serious, and it really just, I think he chose the wrong girl. So for that, he's gonna have to go down in C tier. C tier is for characters where I don't feel strongly one way or another about them. I don't love them like these ones, and I don't hate them like the ones that will inevitably be down here. So he's middle of the road. His design definitely puts him in A tier, but based on his series and based on his stuff, I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. Next up, we got Raku Ichijo from Nisekoi. Now, his design is definitely an A tier design. Obviously, it's pretty memorable. He's got the blue hair, he's got the outfit for the school uniform, he's got a little necklace that he wears. Kind of sets him apart. I don't think it's enough to set him apart, but it's still an A tier design. Now, based on his series, I'm going to go ahead and have to put him in C tier as well. I haven't finished it. Unfortunately, I got spoiled, so I know the ending, but I've seen about half of it. Not a bad guy. Pretty cool character. I like him, but definitely a C tier character. I don't feel strongly one way or another. Okay, now next up we have Amatsuyu Kisaragi from Oresuki, one of my favorite series of all time. A tier design for sure. Black hair, school uniform. What else do you want? But because I like him so much, I'm going to go ahead and put him in S tier. He also goes by Joro. That's his nickname. He's an S tier character for sure. His series is hilarious. He acts like he's a really nice guy, but secretly underneath he's kind of an a-hole. And I really love that kind of plot. It's very funny. He wants to make his own harem. It's very self-referential. Great series overall. Already an A tier design pushes him up to S tier based on how much I like the series in general. So that one was easy. Moving on to Kazuya Kinoshita from Rent-A-Girlfriend. Now, his design, I would say, is a B tier. You know, he's got the brown hair, he's got the orange. It's just not as memorable as all of these, you know. But because I like his series so much, I'm going to go ahead and... I want to put him in A tier, but he's kind of annoying and dumb, and he's very overthinking. He's kind of pathetic. I'm going to go ahead and stick him in B tier for now, just because of how pathetic he is. But I love the series, so he might go up to A tier. And I do like what he does later on in the plot. I'm all caught up, so I know what's going on, and I might put him up in A tier for that, but for right now, B tier. We'll see if he moves. Alright, next up we got Kecky Kiryu from Hensuki. Now, his design is obviously A tier, but for his series, I'm going to go ahead and have to put him in D tier, mainly because if at any point in this video there is a show where the sister is even close to being considered as a romance option, they're getting knocked down a tier immediately. I think his series is funny. If you're an adult, don't watch it if you're a kid. I think it's funny enough. So he's a C tier, because it's really everybody around him that's funny. He's just kind of plain. And because of the sister, I'm going to have to knock him down to D tier. Alright, so moving on to Kogarashi Fuizora from Yuragiso no Yuna-san. Yuna's Hot Springs, something or another. So his design, it's got to be a C tier design. You know, he wears the school uniform, but his hair it's brown. I don't know, it's just not as memorable as these other designs, you know. But I love his series, so I'm going to go ahead and put him in A tier. I think he stands out the most amongst the protagonists when it comes to physical ability. He has girls fawning all over him, and he has the iron will to never stop. Never start anything further. So for that, I gotta give him an A tier. I would put him in S tier, but he picks the wrong girl in the end. So unfortunately, that brings him down to A tier. But definitely A tier because of how great he is in his series. Moving on, we have Izumi Miyamura from Horimiya. Design, obviously A tier. I mean, he's got the black hair, he's got the uniform. What else can you ask for in a design, really? And I do love his series a lot. It's very, very simple, not a lot going on, but in a good way. Like, it's very, very simple, and it's very, I don't know, it's hard to explain. You have to watch the show, but I love it. It's a great show, and for that, he's going to stay in A tier, even though his design, when he's out of the uniform, is lower. But I really like him. I love the series, so he's definitely going in A tier. Next up, we have, I keep on skipping him, Junpei Manaka from, I believe it's Ichigo 100%. Now, his design is obviously an A tier. I mean, come on. He's got the black hair, he's got the uniform. What else do you need? For his series, I'm going to go ahead and put him in C tier. I never really felt a huge connection to him, but I never felt that he was too distant from me either. He was just a general character. I like that he was in film. I thought that was a cool thing that's pretty unique. But generally speaking, he was just there. I found a lot more of the characters around him more interesting. His story was good, it wrapped up nicely, but again, never really felt strongly about him personally, so he's going to go ahead and stay in C tier, even though, of course, his design is A tier. And next up we have Natsu Fuji from Domestic Girlfriend. A tier design. I mean, what else do you want? Black hair, school uniform. I'm going to go ahead and have to put him in B tier. I love him as a protagonist. It's very down to earth. Well, sorry, I say down to earth, but it's really not. What I meant to say was it dives into relationships in a very interesting aspect, and how dealing with loss and stuff like that. So because of that, I'm going to have to put him in B tier. Or sorry, I would put him in A tier because of that, but because, like I said, there is implications of sister, even though I know it's not really, but because those implications make me feel slightly uncomfortable, I'm going to have to knock him down to B tier. Next up, we have Ijo Rentaro from 100 Kanojo. Now, this guy obviously is an A tier design. Black hair, uniform, and I couldn't even cut out the girls. I could not find a picture that was good of him without girls in it, and if that's any indication of who he is as a character, he's staying in A tier. Now, I want to put him in B tier because of some of the implications that his series has, but because he literally has 100 girlfriends, I gotta bump him up to A tier because my man is slaying. The series is great. It's super self-referential. It's a parody series in a lot of ways of the harem genre, and I think it's great. Obviously, you could say that a parody also falls into the genre, but I don't care because it's funny. So because of that, he's going to go ahead and stick in A tier. Now, we got Ryuji Takasu from, Toradora. Now, A tier design, blue hair, outfit, obviously. I mean, I don't even think I need to say it at this point, but I think that he's going to go ahead and go down to B tier. Well, I love his series, and I really do love Toradora. He picks the wrong girl, and that's mostly a joke, but also, I do not like child characters, and for that implication, he's going down to B tier, even though I really like him as a character, A tier design, but because he picked the child-looking character, I'm gonna have to put him in B tier for the implication. Now moving on to Shira Itsuka, obviously A tier design, blue hair, outfit, and his hair even matches his tie, so that's how you know it's a really good design. For his series, I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. He would be B tier, but little sister, so obviously going down to C tier, maybe even D tier if I feel like he was a C tier to begin with. I'm gonna keep him in D tier for right now. He's definitely top of D tier, like bottom of C. He has powers, he needs to go on dates with girls. It's not bad. He is pretty by the numbers. You know, I feel like he's a C tier when I was watching the show, but because of the implications of the sister, he's going down to D tier. Next up we have, oh gosh, what is his name? Well, he goes by Diablo, but his real name is Takuma Sakamoto, whatever you want to call him, from How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Now, this is an F tier design. Really, I don't even know what I have to say about it. It doesn't stand out amongst all of these. You know, these clearly classic designs. Every single one of them has their own flavor, except for maybe these two. But it's just not the same. He's not memorable. I'm going to go ahead and put him in D tier. I like his story. He's all right. He's kind of funny. I didn't really feel strongly about him, honestly. He just was there. He kind of has some funny stuff, but he kind of seems like a pushover, and overall, I didn't love the series as a whole, so D tier for him. Alright, next up we have Takia Arima, and this is from, classic series. Obviously an A tier design, blue hair, uniform, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and put him in F tier. I realize that his series is super groundbreaking for visual novels, but that doesn't stop him from being incredibly boring. I didn't love the second half of the series. It felt weird. He felt very wishy-washy. Didn't really get a good grasp of him. So because of that, he's gonna go ahead and go into F tier. He's our first F tier of the video. All right, next up we got Tamoya Okazaki from Clanad, obviously. A tier design, blue hair, uniform, and it even has tan, so it kind of clashes. Sorry, not clashes. It meshes well, Jesus, with his hair. A tier, for sure. What a guy. Went through a lot of stuff in his life, still came out on top, maybe due to some crazy universe stuff, but he still came out on top. Loves his wife, super faithful, and they even gave me alternate universes where he ends up with Kyo, who is obviously the main pick. So I gotta give him A tier for that. He's a boss, he rolls. And last but not least, we have the one and only Toya Mochizuki. Now, I would put him in C tier design. He's got the blue hair, obviously, but he's not wearing a uniform. He's wearing this cloak. And because of that, it makes him less memorable, I think. And it's going to drop him all the way down to F tier for me. This guy, he gets everything that he ever wanted, and literally his life is perfect, and he's the least relatable protagonist on this list. He is the most accurate placement, bottom of F tier. This guy literally cannot do anything wrong, and he gets to marry every single one of the girls that he falls in love with. This guy is an F tier for sure, no doubt about it. He's the least relatable. So that's it for my rankings. Hopefully this video didn't go too long. As you can tell, this is a very accurate tier list to how memorable they are. And I think at this point, I just wanted to say that this whole video was a meme. Clearly, the point of this video was they all look the same, This is the end of the video, so I feel like I can reveal my secrets. They all look the same, like, Jesus Christ. And anytime I said they looked not memorable, that was a joke because they are more unique. But this is actually an accurate tier list to how much I enjoyed him. I might want to move him up to B tier. His series isn't that bad, and it's almost in order too. I would put Kazuya maybe up here, maybe bottom of A tier, but we gotta have some more people in B tier. I'm gonna put him in A tier. He gets really good at the end of, or I guess towards the present of the manga. But yeah, hopefully you do enjoy this. I don't know how to feel about this video, to be honest. It was kind of a joke. I don't really know what I was doing. I kind of took it too seriously in some points, but yeah, seriously, a lot of these series are good. If I would have to recommend, because I like to do this at the end of every video, recommend a series, definitely Uasugi, for sure, is one that you should watch and read. Gamers, I love it, and I would recommend, obviously everybody's seen Clanad and everybody's seen this. Those are super popular. These are a little bit less known. Definitely Real Life. Well, yeah, Real Life. I would say this one, it's a little ecchi, so you might not like it if you don't love the ecchi. I think it's a fun story overall. Definitely adult oriented though, so if you're a kid, please don't watch this. I don't want to have a mother in my goddamn DMs telling me how I corrupted her son. Horimiya is great. I would definitely recommend these two, and I'll just go ahead and throw Real Life in there. It's a great series. Any one of these series, if you're an adult, you could probably get some enjoyment out of, but those are the main ones that I'll recommend. for now. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you found it at least a little funny. I was trying, you know, this is a real tier list with my real feelings, but I was trying to make a meme out of all protagonists looking the same. So hopefully you're having a great day, and hope to see you later.